the Super Speedway.
Welcome to episode 236 of the Super Speedway podcast, recorded Monday, May 16th, 2022. I'm your host, Eric Young, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush. James, we're getting everybody a head start this week.
Yeah, we are.
It is Monday. We were recording a day early, which, I don't know. It's a nice start to the week. We missed some news, but it's nice to get it done and over with.
Well, and every time we record on Monday, I feel like that opening sentence of yours is Russian roulette. If it's ever going to it might get you, it might not. But you got it. You did it today.
Well, today, I usually, a lot of times when we do Mondays, I don't know, it's usually one of our faults, obviously.
Yeah.
Because we don't plan to do Mondays, but I feel like it's always you doing the notes on Monday, probably because I tend to be busy on Mondays. And so if you don't adjust the beginning, then we're screwed because I'm just going to read through it.
You got ahead of me today. You got into the notes early, and I was busy in some meetings, and I feel like most of the time we're like 50-50 on the notes, but
it's pretty fair. No, I think we're pretty even
today.
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
I feel like we're pretty even. You the thing is like neither of us jump in and like start them, and then we kind of just once we're in there, we're done. Like we fill them up. So
that's it. We let the one person run rough shot, and that's about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna start sneaking Easter eggs in there. See what happens.
Right. Monday notes are easy to do though because there's not a whole lot of news.
I know.
It just comes down to remembering what the hell happened in the race, which was just the day before usually. So that should be pretty easy to do.
Yep.
In this one, we're coming off of a good race at Kansas, the Advent Health 400, and a nice emotional win for old Kurt Busch. Feels like every one of his wins are kind of emotional anymore.
Oh my God.
Good for one a season though, as always.
Eric, I texted you after the race and I said, sign me up for that.
Right.
Every week. I'll take Kurt or I'll take Larson versus the Bushes every week.
Yep.
Every single week. But Eric, in the last 7 seasons, guess how many wins Kurt Busch has?
I just saw this stat, but go ahead.
7. I wanted to see if you could get it. It's incredible.
Yeah.
You knew he was going to do it.
Yep.
He was going to win one race this year.
He's also now won with 4 manufacturers.
It's incredible. Oh man. Eric, I don't know. I mean, as much as I dislike Kyle Busch, his brother has really won me over.
Well, he's won some fans over. I heard a couple boos, but he had a lot of cheers.
Yep. He's jumped the shark as one of the old guys. You know?
Yeah, he has. I don't think his brother's ever going to get there, but
not with his behavior. No.
Yeah. Well, he keeps having Drew Dollar drive for him. He can't look worse, right?
Yeah. Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, a little throwback to a nice ARCA Twitter spat today.
I need to talk. We'll talk about that towards the end of the show.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
You miit be positioning him about the same spot where I would.
I don't know. We're going to find out.
So, I mean, this is, it's the first win for this team. Second win for 2311, first win for the 45. Interestingly enough, which I didn't realize until today, right around the 20th anniversary of Adam Petty's passing, with the same car number. So some sentimental value because of that. It's Jordan's number, this, getting in victory lane with the Jordan brand, the very first race with the Jordan brand on the car. It's Kurt winning for yet another team. I mean, just everything about this win is pretty cool. And not only that, but Kurt dominated the race and with a team, by the way, I wanted to point this out that speaking of jackasses, that I pretty much put down 2 weeks ago saying that they need to show us something. Well, Kurt just showed us something. And maybe 2311. Yeah, and I mean honestly, Bubba did too.
All the Toyotas showed us something.
Yeah,
because Eric, just to tie in fantasy a little bit with this, because we do our picks every week, and we're looking at trends, right? When we're doing fantasy, well, at least I do. I don't know what you're doing.
No, I don't.
But
obviously not much.
Yeah, I've been staying away from Toyotas just because of the performance. And boy, if you had picked Toyota in this race, you did pretty well. So cool.
And I mean, like I said, Bubba did well in this one too. They were just snake bitten again with the tire issue on pit road on the last pit stop. Otherwise, they may have been up there battling their teammate.
Every single Toyota in this field finished in the top 10.
Yeah, with the exception of Larson,
Yep.
it was a Toyota day.
For the top 5. Yeah.
So, people were making a lot of significance around this. I don't think it's to the level of Bubba's win last year. I almost felt like people forgot about Bubba's win last year. But
I'm surprised NASCAR didn't tweet out congratulations to the first career win for George.
Right.
There's a throwback to last week.
Yeah. But it's a pretty significant win. Anytime a new team gets another win, it is a new team. This car number is new. So it's
Denny Hamlin said it. Why'd you hire Kurt Busch over a young up and coming guy?
Yep.
He wins.
Yep.
He wins.
Exactly.
He wins races.
Exactly. We had a good battle for the win to get done. And, coming off a week last week where we were critical of Joey Logano for not racing William Byron and just wrecking him. Mm-hmm. You had two guys going at it. Three really, but two at the end, that just went at it with class and respect. And my favorite part of the race was the spotter for Larson coming over the radio and saying, 45 just put us in the wall, and Larson going, no, he didn't. Nope, he didn't. He just ran us hard.
Larson found the wall plenty on his own.
Exactly. He doesn't usually need any help hitting that wall.
Yeah.
But
Eric, how awesome was that though? Kyle Larson just, he never ceases to put on a heck of a show.
No, he doesn't, and
it's just incredible to watch. Sometimes
somebody that gets out of the car. And obviously, if Larson was roughed up, it would be a different story. But Kurt races with respect. These are we're talking a long time veteran in the sport versus a kid that is just so mature that he should be a veteran. He is a veteran at this point, but he's still on the younger end of his career, and he's already, maturity level well above the people that are the same age as him racing in this series.
Well, and yeah,
but Denny Hamlin jokes about, or we make jokes about how many races Denny Hamlin's run in his career, but Larson might be there.
Yeah.
So,
and I just thought of this too, Eric, when you said that. Two guys that have been humbled in this sport, two champions who have been humbled in different ways, but both, Kurt had his run, and obviously we've well documented what Kyle Larson had went through. It was just, I texted you this one too. As exciting as this race was, Larson doing what he did at the end of this race reminded me of that Eldora race we went to, the second one, when he was just in the fence every lap, and we were on the edge of our seats and standing up the whole time. And he does that kind of thing where he's into the wall, and luckily that car held up for him a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for that right rear fender, he wouldn't have been racing for the end of that race.
I know it.
Man, we saw a couple cars get sideways in this one that got saved. That had no business being saved, and thank goodness for the wall at Kansas. That's I guess that's the plus of running close to it, is if you get sideways, the wall might catch you.
Yeah, and it was I couldn't believe he saved it, and then again I guess I could.
Yeah.
If
somebody was going to do it, that's the guy.
That's the guy. It was just all three of those guys drove just an incredible race. There was a time when Kyle Busch could never be beaten on restarts, and I was surprised. I was shocked that, I guess maybe I wasn't shocked, but him and Larson went mano-a-mano on that restart, and with a I would say maybe with a worse car. I don't know. That car was in the wall quite a few times. Larson somehow got that restart, and Kyle, to his credit, Kyle said, no, he raced me clean. He raced me better, and he got away and stayed on my fender and pulled me back. And it was just, I don't know. It was three champions at, the highest level of this sport. Those are the guys, those are some of the best we've had in our generation, just very, very, just awesome racing all the way around.
Another wonderful victory for the NASCAR Next Gen car. Put on
a mile and a half.
Just a great show at this track. I was highly optimistic coming into Kansas, and pretty much highly optimistic coming into any mile and a half right now with this car. It definitely is built for them. Incredible race. Great action throughout.
You might get your wish of Kentucky and Chicagoland coming back.
Maybe, man.
Keep this up.
I'm telling you, I'm hearing rumors about Chicagoland. We'll see what happens with it, but I'm hearing rumors that I don't think we'll see Kentucky back, but I think Chicagoland. We're going to be racing in the Chicago market, whether it's the Chicagoland Speedway or whether it's on the streets in Chicago. Mark my words, in the next 2 years, we're back in Chicago.
Yeah, and they finally took a race away from Michigan, and now I'm sure we all would want it back.
Right? Yeah.
this is what we're gonna get.
Yeah, you got to imagine that this is going to translate to Michigan too. I mean,
yeah,
it was easy to say that California was an anomaly because of the rough surface, but Kansas isn't rough. I mean, it's one of the smoothest tracks they go to, and it put on a show. So, another win for the next gen car. We had some tire issues, left rear tire issues. I guess depending on whether you ask Goodyear or ask the teams, you can decide on who's going to be blamed for this. But I would say that the teams putting not enough air pressure in the cars or in the tires, or maybe running too much camber in the rear, probably has little to do with it.
Yep, I would say so. Absolutely.
I was listening to, I can't remember who it was that was on Sirius this afternoon that I was listening to, that, they were talking to him, and it's like, it's an easy fix. You just put more air in the tire or take the camber out, but then you're, 20 spots down on the scoreboard. So
that's right.
It's a risk you got to take. And again, James, I'll say, I don't want to see cars get wrecked out. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but seeing these things fail, it's attrition, and it's something we have not had in this series in a long time.
Yep. Attrition is good.
Yep.
Attrition makes for good racing.
So we saw some people with some tire issues. We saw some people get away with it. We saw some not. But it made things a little bit more interesting for sure.
It absolutely did. Yeah, it was. You never knew quite what was going to happen. There was a pit cycle that got all sorts of out of whack in stage 2.
Yep.
Which was great. We had some pretty random guys up front. We hadn't seen in a while. But yeah, this tire issue took out some pretty good contenders along the way. Guys who were they got their laps back, but like Tyler Reddick had issues. He was fast. Michael McDowell was up there for a little bit. I mean, there was a lot of comers and goers because of that attrition you were talking about. Kevin Harvick, William Byron. I mean, those guys all had some sort of an issue that brought them to the back of the pack when they were actually having pretty good runs.
Right.
Heck, Eric Jones had a lug nut that got stuck.
Yeah. How many pit stops did they try to get that sucker off till they finally got it?
Yeah, it was quite a few, and it was wow, what a feat.
Yeah.
Had to cut the lug nut off. Never saw that before.
Yep. Let's see. We mentioned Bubba Wallace. Good run going. Had the tire issue. Had the tire get away on pit road, which messed them up. Where'd they end up?
They ended up
10th place. So still 10th place finish. Not terrible. Yep. Could have been
How
worse.
about Martin Truex Jr. chewing out his team at the stage 2 flag, and they kept him basically in the race by keeping him out there on a flat tire.
Yeah.
So that was classic Truex.
Yeah, classic Truex for sure.
Yeah.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. continues to perform well. 8th place finish for him. Maybe that obviously it's some Chevy help there, but
4th top 10 of the season, Eric. That's double what he had all of last year. So
that's good.
Good sign. Yep.
Maybe cutting back to one car for that team was a good choice.
Maybe, yeah, absolutely.
Let's see who else worth mentioning in this one. Denny Hamlin, man, he's right there, 4th place, gets a win for his team.
Yeah, a good day for Denny, and that was only his second top 5 and top 10 of the year.
It shows what can happen with that team when they don't screw themselves over somewhere.
Yep, and they are speaking of them, they are they'll have their appeal this week to see if they're going to have a 4-week suspension.
Yeah. So so basically you can cut on next 4 weeks.
Yeah.
No crew chief.
We'll see about that. Right.
Yeah. Let's see. Ross Chastain finishes 7th. Another good run for him. I don't know. Anything else worth mentioning with this race?
No, I mean, it was just a great day. It was just all the action was really towards the end, but we had great racing all day long. You mentioned, 1 week after Joey Logano did what he did, we saw just an incredible, clean race.
Yeah.
Where you didn't have to do that. So that was cool. Eric,
did you see how much room Joey Logano gave William Byron when he went by him?
No, God.
Joey about knocked the wall down getting out of his way.
Yeah,
Notice, by the way, they finished 16th and 17th.
of course. Yeah, yeah, they're gonna be right next to each other for a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're gonna keep finding each other. I have a feeling. Eric, Kurt Busch is one of those guys who, when he wins, we have to always talk about where he's at. In the historical sense. 25th all time now, passes Fireball Roberts. One win behind Brad Keselowski for 24th. And he is, I love doing the thing where, what group is he in? What, where is he amongst the Hall of Fame guys?
Mm-hmm.
So let me throw a couple of names at you here really quick. 32nd all time, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Hall of Fame, Rex White Hall of Fame, Carl Edwards on the verge possibly, and then you got two champions, Logano and Truex, 29th and 28th. And then right around Kurt Busch, you've got Dale Jarrett. He's ahead of him. I mentioned Fireball Roberts. And then he's chasing down possibly Matt Kenseth, Bobby Isaac, Tim Flock, Mark Martin. Those are the all guys in the Hall of Fame. He's definitely, obviously, a Hall of Famer with that championship win.
Yeah, no doubt.
He is, man, just a weird career.
Yeah, I mean, he really has two careers.
Right, and I feel like if you did his career 10 times, like in a statistical machine, and we're like, punch out 10 variations, this might be one of the worst for him too, because he's had a great career, but I don't know, I just feel like he has never gotten to the ceiling of how great he really is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I know Dale Jr. touched on how impressive it is that he can go from team to team and find ways to win, and I totally agree. But can you imagine if he had some longevity with a Hendrick Motorsports or someplace like that? I mean, he's all-time
honestly
great,
even if he could have stayed where he was at Penske and not imploded.
Yeah, exactly. And I wish he wouldn't have had his issues when he did, because he was and you talk about a guy on a mission back then too, where he was, he's never been somebody who's piled on wins. I mean, the most wins he's ever had in a season is 4.
Yeah.
And in his championship season he had 3 wins. But yeah, it's a guy you think maybe should win more, but he wins everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't he's not a specialist. I don't feel like he just, if you give him the right stuff on the right day, he delivers. He's always going to deliver for you.
Right.
It's a pretty wild career to look back on. But definitely, definitely one of the greats of my time watching the sport. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I would say first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, I guess it depends on who he goes up against, but gotta be. And yeah, definitely. Kurt's interesting. Certainly 2 careers. I don't think Kurt is who he is without his implosion and coming back. I mean, obviously he was
the humbling.
He was hated.
Kurt Busch. Yeah.
Badly hated. Like there weren't too many people that fans would cheer if Jimmy Spencer punched him in the face, but Kurt Busch was one of them.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, Spencer wasn't exactly a fan favorite, but
I love your 2 careers thing. And actually, Eric, let me say this. This might be a 3 career run for him, because you have the 2002 to 2011 run where he's a perennial champion contender, but not, the results just aren't there.
Right.
Then he implodes and he has a 2-year stretch of he's just slumming it out.
Yeah.
With Phoenix.
Well, slumming it out, but outperforming the equipment he was in too.
Like he does,
which he has done since that point. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Furniture Racing doesn't get where it goes without that one season of Kurt Busch.
Yeah. There's no championship at Furniture Row without Kurt Busch.
So that's, if you want to call that's the rock bottom era. And then the third run is whatever he's been up to since he joined Stuart Haas.
Right.
And is ripped off, a win or maybe 2 every year since then. So just a fun career. He's got a fun stat sheet. I really enjoy looking through the Kurt Busch stat sheet, because it's just such a wild career. It's kind of Ricky Rudd, but a better version of that, maybe.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't think anybody thought that Hamlin was wrong in hiring him for this car.
Absolutely not. We all
figured this is exactly what was going to happen. And he's going to continue to help Bubba, there too.
Yeah.
Kurt makes the people around him good or better, and makes the equipment better, and helps the team that he's at. I would argue that a good chunk of the success that Ross Chastain's seeing this year is probably courtesy of Kurt Busch and learning from him.
Yep.
So
yeah, he kept Chip Ganassi Racing alive when Kyle Larson got the boot, and he was the rock of that team for a long time.
Wait, not Kenseth? Kenseth wasn't? No?
My God, I feel like I won that one. My hot takes were really good back then.
I think you probably did. You mentioned 34th victory, 769 Cup Series races for Kurt Busch. Austin Cindric, 11th place, was our highest finishing rookie on the day. Chase Elliott leads the point standings by 52 points over Ryan Blaney.
There you go.
There you go. Truck Series was in action this weekend as well. It was the Heart of America 200, Saturday night at Kansas. Zane Smith runs away with the show, leading 108 laps. Only one other driver led double-digit laps. That was Corey Heim, who led 18. There were 4 cautions for 19 laps, James, which means there was only 2 cautions that weren't stage breaks. And honestly, for a Truck Series race, this was a snoozer. You don't get them very often. Zane Smith ran away with it. Nobody ran into each other. Nobody did anything stupid.
I love how our buddy Todd said he really appreciated this race.
Right. Yeah. Usually, if your job is busier during caution flags, such as a person who might be in charge of lining the field back up, the Truck Series night is usually pretty busy. And I didn't watch the ARCA race, but it sounds like the ARCA race made up for it beforehand. So,
oh my goodness.
So yeah, there you go. That's about it. Zane Smith gets the win.
Smith, great win for the Jenkins team. Corey Heim won a stage, but he had some trouble, it looks like, and finished as the last car running. But
yeah, the KBM trucks had issues with fuel pickup and all kinds of stuff. The 18 truck had problems with fuel pickup. And the 51, I can't remember what happened. They broke something. They had engine issues as well. This is Zane Smith's 6th victory in 54 Camping World Truck Series races. Lawless Allen was our highest finishing rookie in this one, 19th place. And Ben Rhodes is our points leader, 20 points over John Hunter Nemechek.
Man, Lawless Allen is such a great
name.
That's a great name.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know
he should have been racing back in the 60s?
Oh God!
What a great '60s racing name.
He sounds like he sounds like a Dallas Cowboys quarterback.
Yeah,
you know, like
I could see that.
Lawless Allen. Every time I see his name on the stat sheet, I'm like, man, I hope that guy finds success.
I just feel like if he doesn't show up to the track with like cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, maybe a 6-shooter on his hip, that something's wrong, because that's what I picture. I don't even know what the guy looks like. I don't even know.
He doesn't look like a thief. I'll tell you that. Or he doesn't look like you put him on a wanted poster. There's a guy who signed up, a college quarterback who signed on to play for either Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. I can't follow college football very closely, but his name is Sergeant Booty. And I mean, God, where are these names? I love this. I want more of these.
A couple other things to note here. Ty Majeski gets 2nd place finish. Continues to run well in the Truck Series. Matt DiBenedetto finished top 10 with the 7th place finish. I'd be remiss without mentioning Derek Kraus, who actually ran better than his 8th place finish. Somebody who's really improved since last season when he pretty much hit everything on the racetrack. Carson Hocevar finished back in 15th, but was running within the top 10 in both first 2 stages. Haley Deegan had a better truck than the 17th place finish that she had, but managed to get through a race without running into somebody else's misfortune. So good for her. And there you go. There's your Truck Series.
That's Kansas.
Yeah. With that, got a couple news items. Not a whole lot to discuss because it's Monday. NASCAR hinting that there is a 4th manufacturer that's getting close to joining the sport. So I would assume that Ford's going to be looking for somebody new, because we kind of think that Dodge is probably going to Stewart-Haas, right? I mean, isn't the writing on the wall? No, you don't think so?
I don't know, man. Ford is pretty invested in Stewart-Haas.
Yeah.
Listen, Tony Stewart does not do anything front-facing with Dodge.
Yeah.
His team does, but he does not. So I don't think, like, even like the team photos and stuff, you know, his TSR or whatever Nitro TSR, is it TSR Nitro? They do the Dodge stuff, but if he's in any photos, I have never seen him one time repping the Dodge logo on that shirt. That could be a personal services thing. I don't know.
Yeah. It could be just a can't do that yet type of thing too.
I just don't see it. I really don't see it. I don't know. They're the lead Ford team still. I feel like I can't imagine them leaving.
Yeah.
I know people want to do that. I don't think it will happen. But mark it, Eric. If you want to ever come back to it, if I'm wrong on this one, you can go ahead and crush me. I just don't think they would do the Dodge thing.
So let's play this game. Who would, well, first of all, we're assuming it's Dodge. We don't know for sure.
Yep.
But we know that Dodge has been the closest. Obviously, they've had a car in the sport before.
Yeah.
And
10 years ago, actually, it was the last time. Yep.
Yeah, and I think we're all pretty much of the consensus that it probably will be them first, and there may be more coming, but Dodge will likely be the one. So even if it's not Dodge, who do you think? I mean, which team would jump over to this?
All right, well, here, let's play this. Let's play a game. I'll name teams, and you tell me yes or no.
Okay.
I'll start at the top.
Okay.
Hendrick Motorsports.
No, not in a million years.
That's right. That's right. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Great answer. Joe Gibbs Racing?
No.
Not a chance, right?
Nope.
How about Roger Penske? Team Penske.
They've been Dodge before.
That's right.
Maybe.
All right, good. That's what I was hoping. I was hoping I'd get you to pause on Penske.
Maybe.
So yeah, I think that might be an opportunity.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. Stuart Haas, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. Is that your favorite? Is that your favorite?
If I'm Dodge, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Dodge,
if I'm Dodge, it seems the most. I mean, honestly, James, it seems the most logical, except for, as you said, they're the leading Ford team.
Right.
But I mean, Ford isn't lighting the world on fire either, so maybe they don't care.
Yeah, maybe not. Okay, 2311's a no, right?
No, that's definitely
Absolutely
sticking
not.
with Toyota.
Absolutely not. Yep. Trackhouse. You want to give up that Chevy Speed to be your own?
I don't know.
Maybe?
Trackhouse is such a. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
We'll put them down as a no, but maybe.
Yeah.
But maybe. Richard Childress.
No, I think Richard Childress is Chevy for life. There's no way.
They've flirted with it before in the past, though. They flirted with the Toyota thing one time. I just don't think it'll happen. Let's see. We have Trackhouse. We had how about JTG Daugherty?
I mean, definitely an opportunity or possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I would have those phone calls. I would have that call.
Definitely, but I mean, is that going to benefit Dodge?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
Am I missing anybody?
Petty GMS.
Yeah. They have a relationship with Dodge.
Yeah, they've got a good thing going with Chevy right now, though, on the Childress relationship, so it's hard to say.
Yep.
But, I mean, shoot, if you can go from being the low man on the totem pole over at Chevy to being top dog at Dodge. Yep. Heck yeah. I mean.
Yeah, you would consider it.
And obviously Petty's got the long relationship there, and that gets Dodge in all three series.
Right. And I think what you think too is with these cars being what they are, you have to really worry about the power plant. You have to worry about what's under the hood, and then everything else kind of is pieced together. So it's an easy entryway for Dodge. I mean, you got obviously worry about aero, things like that, but NASCAR would work on that. So
you also have Colleague.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a team that's starting up in the Cup Series that, again, you're gonna now have a spot in the Xfinity Series too.
I like that. Yeah, I was just gonna say I like that for that reason. You've got Xfinity Series that you could work on there. Does Dodge do the Toyota thing, come back in the Truck Series first, and then work their way up?
I think that with this current car, I think you start in the Cup Series.
Yeah,
I think you come straight to the Cup Series.
Yeah, there's no reason to hold back, right?
The only thing that you need is a body, because everything else is, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, everything else is the same across the three manufacturers, is it not?
That's what the guys say. It's IKEA, right?
So, yeah. So, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't just go right to the Cup Series.
So, we have, our possible teams to watch: Stuart Haas, Penske, Petty GMS, Colleague.
Yeah.
Maybe JTG Daugherty.
I'm so glad you can't say it either.
I can't. It's the TGD thing. I can't do it. Yeah. So,
I don't know.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I wasn't even expecting to have that conversation, but I
didn't mention Roush Keselowski, but that's not
that's true.
Who won the championship with Dodge in 2012? So we'll add them to the list.
Yeah.
Brad Keselowski.
That's a good point. And
his dad was a Dodge guy too.
But Roush is pretty loyal to Ford.
Crap, I didn't think of that.
I mean, there's a Mustang with Roush written on it.
Yeah.
I mean, So I don't know. I think that'd be a pretty tough sell, but I guess
Listen, man.
I guess that's where you find out how majority stakes are at this point in that team.
Right. Exactly. Who's running that team in the future?
Who's signing the paperwork?
Maybe. I don't know. That'd be, that might not be a bad deal for Brad Keselowski.
I mean, in the end, what it all comes down to is all these teams want to win and they all want money. So the right amount of money, the right chance to win, anybody will do it.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
shoot, you come with the right proposal to Rick Hendrick. Nah, he's got Chevy dealerships. He ain't going anywhere.
Rick Hendrick ain't going anywhere. He sells all sorts of cars, but he ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. Interesting though. It'll be fun to see. It'll be interesting to see how soon it happens.
I want more manufacturers. It makes the sport better.
Well, we just sat there and we talked about you've got the big three teams, essentially big three, big four teams, and everybody else stands to benefit from this if it happens. Even the teams that don't switch, because now there's fewer teams in each pool. There's more resources to go to them, you would think. So
exactly.
I mean, you remember the last time we had all these manufacturers in the series, we were stacked. We were bringing 40 some cars to the track and being surprised that certain people were going home. So
and Dodge is going to grab one of the teams at the top. You can't come in at the bottom and expect results. They got to come in. You got to go after.
Well, that's why Dodge left, is they didn't have a team at the top to take.
Because Penske was already gone.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they get Penske or Stewart Haas, that's what they're shooting for. But if they can't get one of those two, then it's not worth it to come in yet.
Yep.
I can't believe Stewart Haas would do it. I really can't. But.
And you're not pulling a Toyota team. Toyota's got too much money wrapped into their teams,
and they're too small.
Much invest. Yeah, Toyota doesn't
one
have
team. Really.
Yeah, they don't have the backmarker teams so much. They've just got top teams.
Yeah.
So
there's no room at the end for Toyota.
No. No. So interesting. We also learned a little bit more this week about the next gen test at Talladega that got everybody all up in arms last year. Learned a lot more about the dead dummy that wasn't true. Learned a lot about how a rumor can spread and be false just because nobody speaks up and denies it correctly. We got to see video of the test. If nothing else, pretty damn interesting how they take a remote control car essentially and slam it into the wall at 130 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And not only that, but within a degree of certainty and the angle into the wall, and within like a mile an hour variable of hitting it. Like, just incredible they can do this stuff now.
Technology is an amazing thing, man.
If you just looking at the car tomorrow test, or no, not the car tomorrow, it was a safer barrier test that there's video of if you search for it, and comparing it to this test, just incredible the difference in technology behind the test.
Yeah, robotics shifting the car and everything, pretty cool.
Yep. But yeah, couple just interesting things to note. It was the company that did the test that released the video. Looks pretty good. I mean, doesn't seem to have any issues, but at the same time, there were modifications that were made to the car after that impact to make it crumple better. And we've talked about it on here with the design of the car. The point of it is, and you watch a crash. I mean, we saw cars hit head on at Darlington.
Yep.
And the old car would crumple, and this one doesn't crumple like the old one does. Because it's not designed to do that. It's still designed to take the impact, but it's smaller pieces on the outer end that's designed to be replaced versus the frame at the center, which is designed to stay stiff and be reused week after week. And that's how you can go from, winning a race at COTA and then coming back a couple weeks later and winning a race on another track with the same car.
Yep.
Which we saw Ross Chastain do earlier this season. So that's what we got now. And when you're running... I mean, you got teams that are running, I think they can only run like a max of 6 cars through the rotation or something like that. That's the way you got to design it. So, and hey, it's working so far. Nobody's gotten hurt.
Yep. It's been great so far. And the cars are racing great. And, it's still wild to me to see a car fly down pit road.
Yeah.
like that. But, it's just a testament to the work that NASCAR put in. I mean, we have almost forgotten how worried we were back then, at the start of the season. So,
I will say too that, there was a lot of promise with the car tomorrow. There were a lot of promises that we received about how the car was going to perform, how it was going to race, the technology behind it, a lot of things that we heard about that car, and almost none of them came true. Yep. The only thing that came true, which it's not a small thing, but the only thing that came true is it was a much safer car, and we haven't lost a driver since then.
Yep, exactly.
But we didn't get better racing. We didn't get better passing. We didn't get less aero push.
Yep.
We didn't get any of that stuff. And this car has really lived up to promises this season. A lot more technology behind it. I think a lot better testing behind it. A lot more knowledge behind it than what the car tomorrow was. When they were building the car tomorrow, they were designing a car to keep drivers alive first and secondary everything else. And, this car, they already had that baseline and could build off of that. And, we learned a lot since then. And so far, man, as long as we're not racing at short tracks, it's working out.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's the godsend of what we've been given.
Yep.
We put up with a lot of crappy racing, but we love the sport, and the sport has continued to survive. Because of honestly, Eric, if we kept losing guys like we were, I don't know where the sport would have been at a certain point. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, we've seen other series that it took longer to get there. IndyCar lost a few drivers since we've lost one. And they finally gotten to where they're much safer. Still scary as hell, but much safer than they used to be. Speaking of which, did you watch that IndyCar race? Did you see any of that IndyCar race this weekend?
A little bit. That save.
Holy hell, incredible. That save. This was the best road course race in IndyCar I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was generally road course races. I am of the mindset that I watched the beginning and probably shut it off after that point because it's just not that exciting usually. But this one had rain coming. It started wet, switched to dry, rain in the middle, determining when to put the wets back on, all that stuff. It was really super interesting, to say the least. It was definitely one of my favorite IndyCar races ever. Yeah,
I mean, it was. I only saw a handful of highlights, but like Jimmy Johnson was excited about racing in the rain, and the Indianapolis road course can be good. I hope NASCAR can replicate, when we get there.
Yeah, it was good. It was good stuff. Let's see. We are going to Texas Motor Speedway this weekend, James. Speaking of tracks that we're not super confident about how good the racing's going to be, let's see if the next gen car can fix Texas Motor Speedway. Then we all need to do a little dance and praise.
Heck yeah!
Praise the designers of this race car.
Fingers crossed, bud. Fingers crossed. We had a good show.
We have not had a good show at Texas in a while. We're gonna run the All-Star race there, but we do have to make some picks this week too, James. We are gonna pick for the All-Star race as well because what the hell? No points going towards that though. But you and I have a points battle going, and this week, James, I gained 21 points on you.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I needed to gain 23 points on you to tie, so you are still 2 points to the good on me.
I lost ground with William Byron and Ben Rhodes.
Yep. I know, right?
I can't. I mean, I guess Larson and
you potentially lost ground with two drivers that are going to win the championship this year.
Yeah.
Probably the favorite in both series at this point.
I would say so. Yeah.
If you were going to name a favorite in either of those series, I would name those two drivers.
And I didn't just lose ground. I lost like a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. There you go. So we get to pick for the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series this weekend. Our first race is the Truck Series SpeedyCash.com 220. And James, I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here, and it's not too much of a limb because I'm going with the guy who's got a good average finish here. But not one of the big names that we expect. But he did run well this past weekend as well on a 1.5 mile track. I'm going to go with Grant Enfinger as my pick.
Grant Enfinger. He has not cracked our picks yet this year.
No, he doesn't crack our picks a whole lot, to be honest. But I believe I've picked him for the dirt race before.
Yes, that's right. That is right. Yep. For me, well, you know what? I'm a creature of habit, I guess, or maybe not habit, but I saw something that I really liked this weekend. Give me Zane Smith.
I knew you were going to go that direction.
See if he can repeat. Doing that again is going to be pretty tough, but man, if they just took that car right off the track and put it in the truck and drove it to Texas, I like my odds.
That's true. Yeah.
We'll see what they can do. I'll see if he can replicate.
No race sponsor yet for the Xfinity Series race. It's the Texas 250. James, I'm going to go with JRM Motorsports guys, and I'm not going to just go back and forth between Justin Allgaier and Noah Gragson. So give me Josh Berry on this one.
Well, that was your pick before Greg.
Right, I know, right?
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't pick a junior motorsports driver, you're kind of stupid, right?
Yeah.
Now please don't pick a junior motorsports driver just so I can call you stupid.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was gonna take. I like Justin Allgaier, but I can't take Justin Allgaier. He was my last Xfinity Series pick. But
which is part of the reason I didn't take him, by the way.
True. Yeah. So give me. Boy, I wanted to. I'm gonna take Noah Gragson.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take. I was not going to, but
you gotta.
I gotta take him.
I really wanted to take Sam Mayer, but I just don't see him putting it together.
Yep. It's weird not having a cup race to pick for once.
Well, we're gonna pick it anyway, but you don't.
Yeah, it just doesn't count.
You're not limited. Let's say even if you picked him last week, you can pick whoever. It's the All-Star race. So, man, Texas in the All-Star race. I don't even know where to go with this. I guess we can pick the same guy too because it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say I just see Kyle Larson getting out here and running away with this thing. I don't know why. It just feels like that we're gonna see Kyle Larson win pretty much every All-Star race until he retires, right?
Yeah, it might. He's gonna be tough.
So that's my pick. I'm going with Kyle Larson. It's hard to bet against him, especially running as well as he did this past weekend. And consistently,
Yeah. Let me. I'll take a little bit of a deeper swing.
Okay.
Because he's got to come from the open, but I think he'll make it. Give me Tyler Reddick.
That's a good one.
Give me Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick struggled this weekend, by the way.
Well, if the race doesn't last too long, maybe he'll last long enough to finally get something here.
Right.
Because he's due, man. He was good in Kansas again and had problems, and it's just, he's snake bit.
Yeah.
So give me Tyler Reddick.
There you go.
He'll at least win the fan vote, maybe.
He doesn't have to compete with Bubba this year.
Yeah, Eric Jones is in that fan vote too. That's gonna he'll be tough to beat, maybe. So
I see Eric Jones getting in from the Open. He'll win one of the stages in the Open, I think.
Yep, I think so.
Like I said, you don't have Bubba there because Bubba's got the race win, so he should be in. Bubba's
already won. Yep, Bubba's in. A lot of people are in. Kurt Busch is in.
Well, shoot, when you had what did we have 14 winners last year or something? 15.
Yep.
And then
we're already at 11.
Yeah, we're at 11 this year.
Yep.
Everybody keeps saying we're not going to hit 16, but I don't know, man. It's going to be close.
Yeah, we're creeping up on it. Bud.
We're running out of people to win, but.
Yep. Yes, we are.
There's still some names in there. There's still some Kevin Harvicks in there that haven't won races yet.
That's right.
James, how did the fantasy league go this week? I didn't even look at it.
Oh, pretty good. I stayed in the top 3, which I'll take every week.
There you go.
So that is good. Eric, I don't know. You were good. Actually, you were good. I don't know. You had a good week. Ranger is still lurking. He's hanging around. But our winner was Green Eggs and Hamlin.
Nice.
And with the win, he moves into first in our points as well. So, and he was talking a lot of crap. So I'm sure he'll hear this and enjoy that.
Right.
But Green Eggs and Hamlin got the win. So he's the one we're chasing now. Freight Train second, James third. And then our former points leader, Fast to the Grass, was fourth. Overall standings, I mentioned Green Eggs and Hamlin now is our leader. Fast to the Grass second, and I am third. I guess I'm perennially third, no matter what I do. So that is the fantasy league.
There you go. You got a shout out this week, James?
Who was I going to shout out?
I feel like I had.
It's a short week. I know it's a short week, so it's hard to turn around. I've got my JA. We might share that one, but I don't think I have a shout out this week.
I'll give a little shout out for Juan Pablo Montoya, who performed well this weekend in what was supposed to be just a test at the Indy Road Course to get ready for the Indy 500, and did really well until he put it in the wall in the rain. But good to see that, and looking forward to see old Juan Pablo running the Indy 500. See what he can do.
I like seeing JPM.
I'm a fan. I like seeing him in the IndyCar series. I really, I've. Honestly, if he was still in the Cup Series, I enjoyed him. I like Juan Pablo. A lot of people equate him with the jet dryer, but
he was good, man.
Yeah, he was good. I think definitely could have been better. But he had a decent career.
Yep.
So, Jackass Corner, James.
Do I have one for you?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you go.
His name is Billy.
Yeah.
Billy Venturini.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's the ARCA series, man.
If you guys missed it, first of all, Corey Haim raced for him, right?
Drew, yeah.
Or Drew,
yeah.
I mean Drew Dollar. Sorry.
Drew Dollar raced for him.
Yeah. So Drew Dollar wrecks Venturini car in the ARCA race on Saturday, and yeah, whatever. So Billy makes a comment about how he has no talent, and now he's in a Twitter war with him. It's like, dude, you're a freaking team owner. You essentially own the ARCA series.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Why is he doing that to a young kid who's just trying to make it? That's what the ARCA series is all about.
Exactly.
Good grief. Hey,
Drew Dollar's not the first driver that's driven like an idiot in the ARCA series.
Hey, Eric, let's do this because I'm in it now.
Yeah.
Billy Venturini had 161 ARCA series starts.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how many wins he had?
1.
Yes.
Yep.
Drew
Dollar pointed out.
Yeah. Drew Dollar has 37 career starts and has a win.
Yeah.
So, how about that?
Now, on the same note, Drew Dollar also needs to learn how to get himself out of pissing matches with everybody and their brother, because unlike
the reason for the ARCA series.
Right, but unlike Ty Gibbs, Drew Dollar is not going to get through the sport in his name.
Right.
He's going to have to earn it, and not being an idiot will really help that.
Yes, that's true.
But again, like you said, that's why he's here, is to learn that stuff, learn those lessons, and he doesn't need to be taught those lessons by a veteran team owner.
Billy Venturini did damage to that kid's possible career.
Yeah.
By doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I really don't like.
Yep.
I mean, have that conversation behind closed doors. Don't put it on the media,
right?
On live television. That's just not. First of all, you look like a, hence the segment. But
did you see Jeff Gordon interviewed last weekend after William Byron got taken out?
Yep.
And they tried to go Jeff into saying something bad about Joey, but he wouldn't. No,
he's too good at it.
Exactly. That's what a team owner should do. The team owner, or hold my watch and do whatever you got to do in the garage.
Richard Childress style, right?
But you don't see Richard Childress going out and calling people talentless hacks or anything like that either. That's the drivers do that stuff, but not the team owners. Just silly, just silly. But I mean, no offense to the ARCA. Well, okay, offense to the ARCA series. I mean, of all places you're going to expect to see it, it's probably there. I don't know.
I mean, Drew Dollar tweeting out the racing reference stat sheet and then tagging Billy Venturini is pretty. I mean, he probably qualifies too.
Yeah, but then Billy comes back. He responds back, asking Drew Dollar who he had write that comment for him.
What? They must have had one ugly divorce in the when that contract came to an end.
Obviously.
Oh my goodness.
Just
what in the world?
This is the problem with social media, James, is it gives everybody this public place to look like morons.
Well, Valtteri Bottas definitely did that too. He was definitely the leading candidate for me for this segment until Billy did his thing.
What did he do? I didn't even see what he did.
Well, he literally posted a jackass picture. He's laying in a stream with his ass out.
Nice.
So, yeah. And it was like memed all over Twitter, so I had to look at Valtteri Bottas in a stream every time I logged in.
Those Formula One guys are a different deal.
Weird. Yeah. Oh man.
On that note, James,
let's get out of here.
If Billy Venturini wants to get at you on Twitter, how can he do that?
He can do that at James Cush on Twitter.
You can get me on Twitter at TSuperSpeedway. You can find the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/TheSuperSpeedway. Our website is thesuperspeedway.com. You can find old episodes of the podcast, show notes, links to articles we discussed, past race coverage, photos, all that stuff can be found there. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and I think still Facebook. I don't know when they're removing them from Facebook. Anyway, we'll be back next week to break down the All-Star race and the Xfinity and Truck Series races in action this weekend as well. Until then, everybody, let's go racing.